Welcome back everybody and welcome back into another daily recap. Today is the 26th of July and we're going to have a look at what happened during New York. So as always, this was the price action market structure coming towards New York Open, which is exactly over here. And as you can see, we already had these PSAs charted up from yesterday. If you remember, we had 1724, 1720, and these 1728, sort of every 40 pips. But as you can see, this is what happened during Asian session. We can see a rejection, but still a new higher low being printed at this known PSA 1720, 1721. Pre-London, London, all this is London Open, this is pre-London, London Open fails to break, fails to make new highs, reacts on the dot at these previous low highs, and it's you have high risk high reward sells, and then you have the break, and as I was talking about yesterday, when the support is broken, you can take the sells at the pullback, and as you can see, even on the 15-minute, you have this huge rejection, and then price came below, and we are at New York Open in the middle of this range. We are in the middle of this market structure. The price action is not clear, is not strong, is not like happened during New York or during London, but this is what I was looking at, the price action. So coming towards New York Open, so I have these PSA. This one is 1720, of course. Let me go back here. This is, of course, 1720. I have a minor resistance on the 1 minute based on these previous rejections. I'm looking at, okay, where is clear that the price has reacted multiple times. Here we are below, and we New York Open. As you can see, we are looking for sells over here. And of course, we have 1721, which is a 15-minute time frame PSA. So that's where we are looking for huge sells and huge supply area. And this huge demand at 1716, which is the lows of this previous day, from yesterday, the end of New York yesterday. So this is my trade ideas. Okay, that's very clear. So if I look in an unbiased, with a clear mind, I want to sell here, and buy here. I don't want to buy here, I don't want to buy here, and I don't want to sell here. Okay, let's see what happens at New York Open. I see the price action, and I start immediately to sort of doubt, to change my mind, let's put it this way. So I start to see that these, I don't use trend lines, but sometimes I use them, and I use them wrong because I saw that the price was making lower high, lower high, lower high, and here failed to make new lower lows. The price reacted over there, and if I had bought here, it would be absolutely fine. It makes sense. For me, it failed to make new lower lows, so I buy here, and that's 15 pips. But this idea, this trade and trend line is coming from where? From after I see this price action and price is breaking over here. So that's why I enter buys. I enter buys exactly over there. So I saw this 1 minute candle breaking above, and you see that, the volume is not yet in the charts, but I don't know. I want to confirm myself, confirm my idea. So I will look for buys, and instead of looking them as support, as it should be, I look then at the break and retest over there. So that's why I took these buys where I wanted to sell. So I closed it immediately because the price action was not as I wanted. Even if I was looking for this kind of structure when I saw this candle breaking below, that means that the PPL is not holding anymore. So I closed immediately. So I mean, at least the trade was managed well. But how can it be that, as you can see now, I'm still looking for sells, but after the price fails to make a new lower low, I'm immediately going for buys, but not buys over here, which would make sense. This buy would make sense because it's a strong rejection at these previous lows, is a failure to make new lower lows, and that's more than enough pips to take, 15 pips. Still, it wouldn't be good because I'm looking for sells over here. I have this price action, price sensitivity area charted up for a reason, but instead of waiting for the right confirmation of sells, which happened immediately, the 1 minute after I entered, I look for buys, and that's a big mistake, and that's something that I will work on. It will need a lot of work on. But on the positive side, my trade idea was sell to resistance. And what did I buy? I don't know. And my trade idea, look, now we're talking about this. My trade idea would go 50 pips in profit. So that means that my trade idea is and was good, was a proper, and I recognize the proper rejection candle, and then the price will just break, retest the PPL, giving you further entry, maybe when the price breaks below, and give you 40-50 pips in profits. But still, live trade is different than the theory for me for now. So what I did was, okay, look at this price action. We are here. Okay, and as you can see, I draw a trend line. Are we at buys area? Nope. Are we at sell area? Nope. Are we breaking support? No. I do a random trend line, and I don't even wait for this candle to close. When it's just slowing down, it is okay. Price can possibly bounce from here. I took a buy, and as you can see, I took a buy. I closed half at 15 pips and then closed full at 20. So that was a stupid loss. But yeah, made me understand that trend lines, I should not draw them. Otherwise, unless I draw them before, and then it's okay, because okay, I draw them and then I take the buy over here, then it's okay. Or maybe I draw them and then I take the sell when the price is breaking. But anyway, over here, as you can see, price is not respecting the trend line, and you can take these sells, but otherwise it's not good. But let's continue, because what happens is that I can immediately see this, because I talk about every time. Let's stay on the 1 minute, and when the price is breaking the support, I always look for a retest of this relevant PSA for sells and to take a sell. So that's why I took this sell. The buys turn sell. Now the support turns resistance for price to continue. So the support that was holding turns a resistance, and I took a sell over here, and it went 10 pips, and it then bounced. Okay, so this one was not a loss, was a win, partial wins as always, because 10 pips is good. But if we have to look as insight, we have to see, what is this yellow line? What is it? Why is it there? Why is this yellow line over there? Is it this yellow line? Why is it there? Yes, because it's a demand area. This has been here since a long time. So why am I selling? It's good because the trend is like this, blah, blah, blah. But why am I selling at resistance? This is this should be not sells, this should be the same as here. This strong PSA is buys. I didn't put it in the in my pre New York chart, but these buys should have been also here. Buys, buys, sells, sells. That's it. Simple as that. But anyway, it's not a loss, so it's good because the 10 pips, we know that with volume we can almost 80-90% of the times take them if there's enough volume, or if you don't do stupid stuff like buying over there instead of selling as pre-planned. Okay, selling a demand area, that's my issue. But then what happens? I see that the price is, I mean, we jumped, bounced from a huge demand area. So what does that mean? That means that there's a huge volume, like this sell from a supply area, they buys from a supply. So where do I enter? I mean, if I was conscious about this supply, I could have bought over there, this break, if I understood live that we were coming from a huge demand area. But as you can see, I put this when the price was already there. So that means that it took me 4 full minutes to understand that my sales were not that good. Yes, they were in profit, but they were not that good, and I should have taken, like here I took sales, I should have taken sales. My trade idea here should have been buys. Wait for the bounce. But anyway, okay, there's a bad part that is that I take time to understand it, and unless this is the first time that I'm starting to put sales, because I know that I will forget about it. So that's why I should take, and then I will start to respect them. Sells, buys. But the good part is that I don't just lose full focus, and I see that, okay, if the price wants to continue bullish, I mean, and this, mind me, this is not a 15-minute supply area. This is just on the 1 minute. So big volume coming from a big supply, from a big demand, can go and break and go to the sell area. So that's what I was looking for. And as you can see, I was looking for, I saw the rejection, but I was not looking for sells. Yes, if I saw a huge rejection, this candle closing strong, bearish, then I would have considered taking sells. But I was not that into sells immediately, because the price could bounce from here and then go back up, or even, like it happened, when I saw this bearish candle flipping, almost flipping, then that's where I changed, not changed the bias. I understood that this was a break and retest to possibly continue to this sells area. So that's why when the price closed bullish, that is a clean break and retest. And this is a trade that I took 21 pips. I closed full at 10 pips. I had the partials, and 21 pips I closed the full trade. And that was very good to understand. Here is very, very interesting, but is very, very good as well. This is a 15-minute supply area as charted from the beginning. So that's where the price reacted here. And also yesterday, look how many times it reacted over there. So what I was looking for was sells. So what happens is that, let me put the replay. We have this price action. So I'm not really happy, because I know that my PPLs are sort of based on algorithms. I mean, of course, I don't know if that's true, blah, blah, blah. So in my backtesting, I know that, yeah, here I didn't need to go at the PPL, but sometimes it will need to go to the PPL before going back down. That's why I was also considering placing sell limit exactly at the PPL to take advantage of it. But anyway, I took my first sell because, I mean, the market is not always perfect. This one didn't react at the PPL. So if maybe this one was the trade. So I took the first sell at the candle close over there. So 15 pips. I think, I don't even remember if it was 15 or slightly more, 15. And what happens is that, okay, I took my first sell. I am very confident because this is a supply area, the stop loss is covering, so I mean, I have space. When this candle closes as a rejection, the very next one is sort of showing the same pattern with a sort of break retest, and the next one goes there. Here I close 50%. Why? I don't know, because the price is not breaking above the PPL. Here, at the top of this candle, I close full position. So this position is gone. But what I told you, that the price, I wanted to react almost at the PPL. So that's where I took my second entry, which was over there. So at this candle close, I said, okay, yeah, this was my entry. Even this one, but without closing it. I mean, it's 12 pips. I should have taken it and be safe. But at least I took this entry. As you can see, I took this entry. Price action was not the best, I gotta say. But now I'm fully determined, okay, if the price closes above here, then I take 50%. Otherwise, there's no reason to take partials. Even though it looks like it's doing whatever, support, maybe it goes down. I don't care. I'm not scared. My trade idea is that this supply area holds. If it doesn't hold and we have a closure above, then I take partials. But unless the price breaks, there's no reason to touch the trade. And this is exactly what happened. Nice bearish candle. Now I started to see some price action. I don't like this candle for sure, but is immediately countered. Now, I mean, this is when the volume was coming in, so I was happy. And now also we are coming towards the new 4-hour open, so we know that some volume will always be in, and some volatility also. So that's, I think that's where 10 pips, yeah, exactly, the partials were taken. Now we have, as you can see at this level, we have a small reaction. The price is slowing down. Now you see there's a strong reaction over there, but then we have this further candle. So I'm already in profits for this one. I'm running at break even. What I decided to do is that this candle is the perfect breaker retest. So we have supply area respected. When the price goes back down, let's do it properly. When the price goes down, it will not always just go straight down like here. Sometimes, most of the times, it will retest the low of the order block before jumping back down. And this, as you can see, is the retest with the closure, bearish closure of the order block. So that's where I took my second sell, 15 pips, covering this price sensitivity area, maybe even less, because if price breaks here, I don't want, this trade is invalid, and volume and the direction was quite clear. Didn't like this bounce, but anyway, this is the new 4-hour open. I didn't like to stay in the new 4-hour open when I was not even with profits, because this one was 10 pips, but with the spread it was not taken. So the price touched with the sell part my TP, but it didn't touch my with the buy, so it didn't take the partials actually, but this candle took them. And then clear price action, I took the first trade at 30 pips, the partials, the final part, I took it out, and this one as well at 30 pips, I took it out and I closed it, because we were also reaching a strong support over there. And this one, I guess it was my last trade. Yeah, I didn't take anything. I didn't want to take anything else. And after that, I just sort of backtesting. This is, of course, a support. So we might look for buys. Bam. That's it is. Then I was not looking at the price. Then it's not really clear. There's a sort of messy price action. if I was on the charts, I would consider taking sells. I don't even know if it goes in profit. No, exactly. But look, now also if I had my sell limit, that would be absolutely perfect, activated and gone. But this huge supply area is being respected. Strong rejection. This candle is closing bearish. You can even enter there. You are already 10 pips in profit. And then goes back in. But look, further rejection. And you see them in the size of the candles. And there you go. So this, look, this supply area was never broken. Never. Today. And that's the New York session. As you can see, not a single 1 minute candle closed showing strength above the PPL. And this New York session, it's at the end. Yes, we had huge liquidity grabbed at the same demand area, as you can see. Same support. You see this candle, you can either wait for a candle to close bullish, or you enter exactly when the price is there, because you don't want to get miss out. But look, 10 pips, you have a stop loss that is like 17, 18, 15, and it's 39 pips in profit. And another bounce from the support, rejecting there. But that's the simple part. I don't want to sell over here. I want to buy a support. I don't want to look for buys over there. I want to sell. I want to sell. I'm not necessarily looking for buys over there. I want to sell, buy. Because it's the difference between supply and demand. Supply and demand. Before it becomes a support and a resistance, because before this one is clearly shown to be a resistance, at the first, second sign, that's it. I'm a supply area, I sell. I'm a support or demand, I buy. I buy. I buy. I buy. I don't necessarily, if it comes back here, I don't want to necessarily buy unless it clearly forms a support. But here, I'm not looking for buys over there if we are coming into a sell area. That's it. And that was New York. I don't know if I have anything else to show. Yes, this one was live, was right before the consumer confidence. So right before the 10 a.m. candle, quite messy, but as you can see, price respected the highs and then went in profits. And again, as I showed you, this is a possible support, but this one was not because of a support. This one is because of the consumer confidence was worse than expected. So I was looking for this liquidity grab to reject somewhere and then show the right fundamental reason, which was a bearish for the USD, was there's no consumer confidence. So I was looking for buys. First tap, yes, quite a messy price action, but we have 25 pips. And this is it, guys, for today. See you tomorrow.